I'm Dave Hardy, and welcome again to Say What. There is no more challenging job in the world than to be mayor of a small town. And my guest today not only is the mayor of one of the prettiest small towns in West Virginia, that being Montgomery, but also my high school classmate from East Bank High School. I won't tell you what year, but it was a long time ago. His name is Greg Ingram. Mayor, welcome.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
I can't remember, Greg, if you were 1 year ahead of me or 1 year behind me.
Well, I'm not going to mention the year, but it was, I think, the same year. Been too many years ago.
Let's put it this way. Leisure suits were in fashion.
That's right.
And
oh, yes, they definitely were.
And late track players were used.
yes, 8 tracks, and I graduated in a leisure suit.
Yeah, I did too, Greg. Well, thank you. Well, we have that in common. Now, who would have thought all these years later, probably about 45, 50 years, we would be sitting here talking about our home area.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And at that time, you did not live in Montgomery. I believe you lived further down the river. Where did you live back then?
I lived at Shillian, Cabin Creek Junction area.
And when did you move to Montgomery?
1994.
94, okay.
Yeah.
And now here we sit 30 plus years later. What year were you elected to Mayor of Montgomery?
2016.
2016. Yeah. So you are on your second term or starting
third.
Your third?
Just won my third term, starts July 1.
Well, I don't know whether to give you condolences or be congratulatory.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
That's right. Being a small town mayor, we were talking about it there earlier. It's hard because there is no staff. It's not like you have this army of people that help you out. You are the staff.
Well, and it's a challenge, and you don't have a lot of staff. We have some staff, but they wear 20 hats like I do. So everybody's all busy, and I'm fortunate. I have one of the best. The whole staff. I don't have one complaint.
Well, now, what was your position before you became mayor? Your real job in this world? Where did you work?
I worked for Walker Machinery Company, Caterpillar, there in Bell.
Diamond. I think that's Diamond, not Bell, right?
Well, I worked Bell, Diamond, Logan, and Summersville.
Well,
so I worked in several locations.
And I tell you, shout out to West Virginians. Walker Machinery was a great company and a very civic-minded company.
Absolutely. If they made money, the communities shared in their profits.
They sure did. And I guess they were finally sold out, weren't they?
Yes, yeah. I think it just was time to retire, and Steve and Dick decided, it's time to go. And it's not something they wanted to do, but, we all have our time to pick something else to do, and so that's what they did.
So you worked there 43 years.
43 years.
And then what made you decide in 2016 to run for mayor of Montgomery?
Well, I was recorder of Montgomery for 8 years previous to that.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it, and I watched the things, I watched the town. And even before that, probably 10 years before that, back when when I moved to Montgomery, I was on the park board of Parks and Recreation. If you drive through Montgomery, you'll see a lot of things that I've built over the years for the park board, and some of the planters and stuff that are still there. And so I was just civic-minded. I enjoyed it. Love the people. I mean, we have some of the best people, in my opinion, in the whole Upper Kanawha Valley. I mean, you can go to any of the towns. But I was recorder when I was still working. It was a part-time job. And this job's supposed to be a part-time job. It pays like a part-time job.
I'm sure, right.
I think I make about $2 an hour probably at the end of the day.
That's more than I would have expected,
yeah,
Mayor.
but I'm just civic-minded, and I just totally enjoy helping people and seeing things make a better quality of life for the residents that live there. And the Walkers pretty much educated me. They sent me to college. It was all things that I couldn't do when I was young and growing up at home. But I felt like that I had the intellect to help. So I dove in and haven't quit swimming since.
Well, and several little-known facts about Montgomery. Number one, you straddle the county line.
Absolutely.
The part of Montgomery's in Kanawha County and part of it's in Fayette County.
Right.
Which side do you live on?
I live on the Fayette County side.
Fayette County side. Number two, there was a time for years where Montgomery had two colleges.
Absolutely, yeah.
You had West Virginia Institute of Technology, my alma mater, and you had Bridge Valley.
Correct.
And now, of course, you still have one. You have Bridge Valley.
Yes.
And you also, I believe, are the home of the Mountaineer Challenge Academy. Is that right?
We are.
So
We still look a lot at education. We have an art studio that teaches a lot of things, and they have classes. And in fact, I learned to sew at the art studio on my mother's sewing machine, which was exciting to me.
that's interesting.
I'm not a seamstress by any means, but and then we have the private high school there, Montgomery Preparatory Academy, and then we have, as you said, Bridge Valley Community Technical College. We have the Challenge Academy, so we're still all about education. I mean, they took tech, and we didn't give up. We're not going to.
No, there's a real spirit up there. And I might add one other thing for those of you that love the rails, that would be me and many others. There's an Amtrak stop in Montgomery too.
Yes.
And sometimes people forget that.
Yes.
But Montgomery's had a lot of challenges in my lifetime and your lifetime, Mayor. Back when we were in high school, Montgomery was a booming place.
Yes.
And when I was in college, there was a booming place. I mean, West Virginia Tech at that time probably had 3,000 students or thereabouts, and the town had a very thriving downtown and business district. Times have changed. Things have been difficult. So tell me about the challenges at Montgomery and many of your successes, because there are many.
Well, you know, with the demise of coal, that kind of started inching its way into our economy up there first. And then when Tech decided to move to Beckley, the Deskins report from the West Virginia Economic School, it's known as the Deskins report, just after they moved, it cost that area $15.2 million a year economic impact. So Tech left.
That almost sounds low to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it probably is. Then, of course, the grocery store left, and then Fayette County decided to close the high school. It left. Then the car dealership left. And it's just been a downward spiral economically. But so we've decided it's time we got to take care of where we live. It's got to be safe, clean. It's got to be a nice place to live. So we had all those challenges in front of us, and I've always been the type individual, if something needs to fix, let's fix it. So myself, my staff, and I have to give them so much credit, just started going to work. And the people, Dave, all of the, just the community that came out on all these committees. We've had probably 10 or 15 economic studies done, all the way from Virginia Tech, from Blacksburg. They came in and done studies. WVU has done studies. Healthy Smithers, West Virginia has done studies. I could go on and on. So we've been studied, and we know what we need. We first had to have a comprehensive plan. Montgomery had never had one before. So with the WVU Law Clinic, we accomplished the comprehensive plan. Then we decided we were going to update our zoning laws. That was another 4-year project. Zoning, or the comprehensive plan was 3 years. Zoning was 4 years. After that, we applied and became a home rule city, one of the few Class 4 cities in the state. And that was accomplished, which helped us tremendously. Had we not reached that goal, we would really be in trouble. I think it's helped us work with Smithers through agreements and things that we could do together without having to.
And I have to pitch this, and people who think government's inefficient, and many people do say that, and sometimes it's fair criticism. Montgomery and Smithers have put on a clinic on how two small towns can work together. You and Mayor Cavalier.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We have gotten national recognition. We were the only two communities in the whole state of West Virginia that was invited to Washington back in December. with a RABE, and it's a community assistance through grants and just all kinds of stuff. We're working with the Federal Railroad, trying to get some crossings put in, stuff like that. But they chose us because of the Strategic Initiative Council, which is the embodiment of the two cities. It's a legal entity. We both put a little bit of money in it, and we do things to help both cities. So we were recognized, and there was only 17 cities throughout the country that was chosen to do that.
Out of thousands and thousands.
Out of thousands and thousands. And I do believe now that maybe one of the other Fayette County communities may get chosen for that. I know they're a strong applicant. So, and we're working with those people every day. That's a 3-year program. Golly, we have the high school, which that was a issue. I had to go to Miami. I went down and visited 7 high schools in Miami, Florida, that to see if, this, I mean, it's really good. And so I went down there and saw that. They decided we're going to locate in Montgomery, West Virginia. They're still picking up students and
this is the private preparatory academy.
Yes, it's a private preparatory academy. So it's another choice. When Fayette County decided to move the high school, all of our kids went in 3 different directions. Some went to Ansted, some went to Oak Hill, some went to Riverside. And that was tragic. No more Friday football games.
Right.
No more tech football games. So it's been a real challenge, but we now are working on, hopefully can make this announcement shortly, that it's all signed in ink, but we have a robotics manufacturer out of North Dakota that's moving to the old tech campus.
Well, that's great news, Mayor.
Taking Orndorff Hall, what he does, he builds interactive robots for museums, like the Clay Center, and I don't know that they use him, but different museums. His clientele's on the East Coast, New York, Baltimore, the bigger cities. So what his plan is here is to build these robots, have a museum there, and let kids come in and play on them and get the bugs out, and then ship them out from there. Right now, he ships robots all over the world.
Wow.
So that's going to be another big plus that's coming. We have the splash park that's coming. We just finished our river park. I don't know if you've been up to see that, but it's right on the river. Beautiful. Just put a playground in for the kids. It has a fishing pier. That was a long project, and we did most of that right through COVID, so it really took a lot of time. We've got other challenges. We've torn down, I think as of today, 37 buildings.
I was just about to ask you about that.
We have one more big one, well, 2 more big ones that we've got the crosshairs on, and actually 3. One of them is the old hotel on Front Street there that's beside the Bank Bar and Grill. It's
Yes.
a pink building now.
Yes.
Which we refer to it as the Pepto building.
Right. Right.
That one's going to come down probably next month. That will take another eyesore out. We have the old middle school that burned. That is a brownfield. The gentleman that bought it online and got loans against it and disappeared. Changed his name in California. So we can't find him. He's totally disappeared. We've had all kinds of people looking for him. But anyway, that'll be cleaned up. And then the other one is the old Eagles building there across from CVS. Ferry Street, the whole block is now gone except the one building. Do have money to do it. It's just a matter of the speed of government to get the money in our hands so we can take it down. But Ferry Street will be a event center. It will be a big building with, the architects have it as arch doors all the way around with garage doors. We can open it up in the summer. It could be farmer's market, whatever. It will have a stage in it, have a fireplace in both ends, and hopefully, if we can work it out right, we'll have a ice skating rink in the winter for the kids. So that's going to be the whole block of Ferry Street.
Wow. Let's talk about that for a minute,
okay.
Mayor. First of all, any mayor and all the mayors in West Virginia and many other areas too struggle with dilapidated, rundown housing. And when I'm in Montgomery, I notice that you have done a remarkably good job getting those structures torn down and creating green space, which can be used for a lot of different things. It might be used for new housing, or it might be used for your Ferry Street project.
Right.
How did you pull that off? How did the city of Montgomery get 37 dilapidated houses torn down? How did that happen?
One word, it's a process. A process. And we started, Montgomery was in pretty bad shape as far as old buildings. They hadn't been any taken down for a long time. Some of them hurt. Some of them really hurt, like Benny's Bar and Grill. My gosh, every tech student that went through Montgomery
Yep.
has been to Benny's Bar and Grill.
Probably for 50 plus years.
Whether it's for a hamburger or French fries or something to drink. That one hurt us. There's been some other ones that have stung. But how we pulled it off, I don't know that I can sum that up. We started out with money that I call it blood money. It's probably not a good word, that we got from WVU for moving to college. We took some of those dollars and we took down some of those houses. We had DEP has helped us. Kanawha County Commission has helped us. Now we're working with, congressional spending helped us.
It just sounds like you've gone here, there, and somewhere
We've
else.
had to go everywhere, but
you made it a priority.
Yes, because if you're going to have a community that people want to live in, it's got to be presentable. Eyesores were just things that I didn't like them. You know, before I ran for mayor the first time, I walked down Ferry Street. I walk my dog every day. I walked down Ferry Street and I said, these buildings have to go. The roofs and the first, second floor, or third floor in some cases, were in the basement. Trees are growing out of the windows. So that was my first mission. Let's take out Ferry Street. It was difficult because you have to deal with the property owners. You just don't go in and tear down somebody's building.
No.
But I had property owners that didn't want it. It had been passed down through generations. They didn't have the money to clean it up. We have all kinds of deals on some of these buildings. Some of them are the property owner keeps it. Some of them, there's a lien against them. Some of them, the property owners just gave them to the city, which everything on Ferry Street was given to the city except one building, and we had to buy one of them.
So you actually got property owners to deed over the property to the city.
Correct. Most of them are that way.
And that model works.
It does, and there's no really one big model that'll work. I mean, you've got to get a little bit here and a little bit there, and that's just the way it is. And you know, small towns, Dave, is a whole different monster within itself. We, in Montgomery, still to this day, there's still coal trucks that goes through town, tears up our roads. There's still dirt, dust. There's still back alarms that goes on over at the plant. And the coal severance tax is distributed per capita. So I get about $4,000 a year, and I have all these things, and Charleston gets $900,000 or something like that. But I think there's things that that the legislature may needs to look at. I mean, how are we distributing all this money? It's going to and I understand, it's a West Virginia coal severance. It's a West Virginians tax. So where most of us live is that where the money needs to go with, because that's the model we have now. But I don't know that that's always the right model. But I'm a little prejudiced on it.
Well, I think that what you're pitching here, Mayor, is using severance funds to tear down dilapidated housing. That's a really good purpose for severance funds, because it helps communities rebuild and frankly, to purge themselves of a lot of the leftover industrial structures that were here when the coal industry was in its heyday.
Yeah. And you know, I don't want anybody to think that I'm throwing darts at Charleston or any of the bigger cities. I'm not. I love Charleston. It's a beautiful place, and you know, probably half the people in Montgomery work in Charleston. And I just think that we need to take a look at what we've historically done. And I don't think you really see that until you're sitting in the mayor's seat and you're trying to make a budget. You're trying to pay your employees a living wage. You're you're trying to pay the bills, and you're trying to have enough police officers and fire department. It's a real challenge in small communities.
Sure is.
And I just hope that somebody somewhere sees something that will help. And I will say this, home rule was a home run for small communities. It really was.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, Mayor. I'm proud to say that I chaired the Home Rule Board for West Virginia at the governor's request for 7 years. And I would encourage any small town mayor to avail themselves of the home rule process, because it creates opportunity. It's a board that allows small cities and towns, Montgomery being a Class 4 city, which is a city of less than 2,000 people, it allows those cities to have more flexibility in how they run their cities. And it's been, you're right, it has been a home run.
And you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the whole thing with the home rule was to see what works out where the boots are on the ground.
It was kind of trial and error, to be
Trial and
honest.
error, and then if something works, then maybe the legislature would adopt it as a law or a statewide policy or something of that nature. And I think small towns need to have a little louder voice of their struggles and what they struggle with. And I'm not complaining. I love what I do every day. It has its good days, has its bad days, but when you have people like the Kanawha County Commission, I mean, I said there one time that it's my job to give people in Montgomery hope, and when I go to the commission, they always give me hope. Dave, I don't think I've ever been there and asked for anything that they didn't accommodate something. Might not have been what I asked for, but helped in another way or done something to support the eastern end of the valley. And I can't say enough about them. They're just wonderful people. And I think they try to spread out what money they have to everybody they can.
What role, Mayor, is the New River Gorge playing in Montgomery's future?
I think it's too early to tell. Because right now the focus is on the plateau area and where the bridge actually is. I don't know that it will have a big impact on Montgomery other than if we have a destination place. There is nothing now other than Challenge Academy in Bridge Valley and it's high school, but when we bring a museum in, that's a destination point.
Right.
People at the gorge may want to come and see it. The other thing we're working on is a Hatfield-McCoy Trail system.
Yes.
Which is on the planning to start in fall 2025. It will be in the area. We haven't worked out all the bugs yet, how we're going to get it to Montgomery. We're about 4 miles away. But, and we're working on the preserve that the West Virginia Land Trust owns all the property over on the Smithers side. So I don't think right now it's having a big effect. Trey Kay, I don't know if you know Trey, but he did an interview with us, and he said Montgomery Smithers was always a place you passed to go somewhere else. And that really sums it up. So what do we do to get people to come into town? First, we have to clean it up. I mean, it's got to be a place you want to come to.
Sure.
We still have the original Frank's Pizza. We still have the Dairy Bar over in Smithers. You know, those are unique places that people have heard about. All tech students know about them.
Yes.
Because they've been there for years. So I don't think it's having an effect right now, but as it expands, it may. But there's one thing that I've learned through experience. Sometimes you need to be careful what you ask for. We have the annual Highball to Thurman foot race. It starts in Montgomery and goes to Thurman, and they ride the train back to Montgomery and get in their cars. And we're expanding on that. But when we did that, then the National Park Service says, oh, wait a minute, you don't have so many runners. Now, this was during COVID. Maybe it had
So
something to do with
they
it.
run from Montgomery to Thurman?
Yes, uphill.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
They go up Route 60?
They go up Route 60 to Deepwater, and then they go up on past Deepwater, and then they go up the hillside.
Wow. I hadn't heard about that.
There. But anyway, there is so many things going on in Montgomery and the Upper Kanawha Valley right now to try to recover from the gut punches we've taken. And we're gonna do it.
Well, and you're going to do it because of spirit, optimistic spirit, and can-do attitude.
Yeah.
You've got it. Mayor Cavalier's got it.
Yes, she does.
The other mayors up there have it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the mayors in the Upper Kanawha Valley, they don't compete with each other. They work as a team.
I don't know that we've ever competed. Maybe back in the day they did, but that was before my time.
Will Bridge Valley continue to be viable in Montgomery?
We certainly hope so. They have the dental hygiene program there, which is on the 9th floor. It's top floor of the building. And it's doing quite well. We have the lineman class there, which is 100%.
That's the lineman, the program that teaches you to be an electrical lineman.
To climb telephone poles.
Which we all know there's a demand for that occupation. Every time we see a storm, we see where the demand is.
100% placement rate out of that school. They're expanding that.
And that's through Bridge Valley?
That's through Bridge Valley.
Okay.
They are going to take down the old engineering building and engineering lab buildings, and that will be the lineman class area, and also their CDL training courses will be there.
So Bridge Valley is also offering CDL there.
Correct. So
those are good programs.
They are, and I think Bridge Valley's focusing a lot of their attention on the trades in the Montgomery school. And the dental hygiene class there stays packed. They very seldom have openings. They could probably expand and be okay. So we've got all that going on, but you know, sometimes I just want to be Montgomery. As I said earlier, we have to be careful what we ask for. I just want to be Montgomery. It's beautiful. It's peaceful.
Yes.
It's clean.
Yes.
It's safe. When I look at the news today, I'm like, thank God I live in Montgomery, West Virginia. We have got the environment that people want nowadays.
You do.
They just don't know where we are.
And your riverfront is beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. And it's the people that are coming in out of Washington, we're going to take them on boat cruises when they get here. They're coming in June, July, and they want to take boat cruises, and they're coming in to help us with transportation needs. They're helping us try to get the Cardinal an everyday run.
Wonderful.
They're working on that for us. We've got so many things going on. I mean, it would take me forever to tell you about all of it.
Mayor, you've done a great job, and I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Montgomery has gone, of all the communities in this state, Montgomery's probably gone through more transition, but I'm confident you were the right person to lead Montgomery. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
Keeping you informed on the Library Network about small communities in West Virginia, particularly Montgomery, West Virginia, I'm Dave Hardy. Thanks for watching. Say What?